Read 'em and weep. It's time to take your woodworking to new digital heights.
The router table is a great tool for cutting dados, rabbets, or grooves. The challenge is setting the height of the bit. You can hold a ruler up to the bit and try to eyeball it, but that's not the most accurate way. A better method is to use something like this. This is the Wixey digital height gauge. The way it works is very simple. You've got a horseshoe-shaped frame with a ruler that slides up and down in the center. To use it, you simply press the button in front to turn it on, lower the ruler until it contacts the surface of your router table, then press and hold the button again to zero it out. Now just slide it over the opening in your router table, and as you raise the router bit, the digital display on front will indicate how high the bit is. Once you've reached your desired height, simply take the gauge away and you're ready to make your cut. In addition to setting the height of your router bit, you can also use the gauge to set the location of your router table fence. To do this, simply lay the gauge flat on top of the router table and set it so that the feet are contacting the fence. Then slide the ruler up against the fence as well and press and hold the button to zero it out. Now reposition the gauge so that the ruler contacts the bit and the feet slide up against the fence. Now as you move the fence, hold the gauge in place, and the display will tell you how far away the fence is from the edge of the bit. There are several features on this gauge that are worth pointing out. If you take a look at the display, you'll notice that it reads in thousandths of an inch as well as fractions. And by pushing the green button in the center, you can toggle back and forth between inches and millimeters. There's also a locking knob on the side of the gauge that allows you to lock the height of the ruler. So you can set it at a predetermined height and then use the gauge to position your tooling. There's a removable depth indicating attachment that stores on the side of the jig. You can pull that off and attach it to the ruler. And this allows you to measure the depth of grooves or holes. This third white button allows you to toggle back and forth between absolute and incremental measurements. Now the way this works is that you set the gauge for your initial height, and then if you discover you need to raise the bit a little bit more, you can press that white button and it'll zero out the gauge from that point. Go ahead and make your adjustment, and then once you're done, go back and press the white button again, and it returns the setting to the absolute measurement. Now frankly, I have yet to find a use for this, but the function's there if you need it. On the bottom of the gauge are a pair of rare earth magnets. This allows you to set the gauge on top of a table saw or any other tool with a metal top, and it'll stand on its own. In addition to the router table, you can use the gauge at your table saw to set the height of your blade, or at the bandsaw to position your fence. The Wixey digital height gauge. It takes the guesswork out of setting up your power tools. For more information on this or any other product, check us out at thewoodsmithstore.com.